Yo, what's good, Sacred Bass? I see you. Yo. It's Uncle Pops with the raw truth for the youth. Definitely you grown folks. Got something pretty cool wanted to share with my peoples. Hashtag DBWT moment. Don't be wasted talent. And remember last year, really great friend of mine, pretty powerful man by my standards, Pierre. He had shared a really great idea with people that are always talking about New Year's, and I know we getting close to New Year's pretty soon. We got like 37 days or something like that, 38 days, and one of the things that he was talking about was how everybody sets all these New Year's resolutions, and they all talk about, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, right? And one of the things that he pointed out was when people, do things like that, and then they get started, or they try to start on the first of the year, right? January 1st, they try to get started. And they either fail or they have small and limited success at these new habits and these new things that they want to do for the new year, right? And so when he pointed that out, he added to it that, going into something new, why not take the time before it actually happens to get started, as, a prep phase, as a warm up, as a build up, as, a process, that gives you, the time and the drill work and the exercise, to get you to that point. So when he was talking about New Year's resolutions and habits and things like that, he had pointed out that why not take the time, within the last 30 days, right? So taking December or even longer than that, taking the last 30 days and working on the new things that you want to do, the new things that you want to improve, right? So everybody, talks about many different things. Like with me, punctuality, being on time, right? That's always been, a big issue for me. It's not every single, time I have to do something, but, I do tend to, be late or, cut it close. So going forward, me, for example, let's say that, in order to really do that as a new goal, as a new accomplishment, why not take the last 30 days of the previous year and work on that, so that way when the new year comes, when the new year hits, which technically this is not the new year, but that's another discussion and talk. But when the new year comes, if you take the last 30 days of the previous year to work on everything that you are trying to accomplish and all the new stuff or all the new things and the new goals, you take the last 30 days of the previous year and start working on it then. That way, by the time January of the Gregorian calendar hits, January 1st, a week into the new year, you're actually moving and grooving a whole lot better than what you were before, if that makes sense. Because you had time to really practice it. You're not starting off fresh, right? You're not starting off fresh to get yourself moving. Hold up, Kiki, I see you. I see you want to jump in. You're not starting off fresh, and you don't have as many obstacles to deal with in the sense of trying to establish and build new habits or new behaviors, right? Now, here's something interesting. Right? It takes it takes up to 254 days for a person to form a new habit, right? 254 days in order for a person to form a new habit. That's a long time. It is not really a long time when you consider how many days, how many months, how many hours, how many weeks that we've spent in our lives with bullshit and making mistakes and creating bad habits and, following, false things and being a part of, insignificant shit, right? We've spent a lot more time doing that than we have with anything else. So 254 days, that's really not that long of a time, but it can be. It is quite a while, right? But 254 days in order for you to create a new habit, right? And I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought it was really interesting, and it's an average. Now here's some other scientific proof. It's an average of 66 days, right, for a new behavior to become automatic, right? And behavior leads to habits, right? And then automatic behavior, right, is a changed mind. And automatic behavior becomes the habit itself because you do it without really thinking about it. You do it without, having any type of, conscious thought, right? It's a subconscious act, right? So what is a habit then, right? So we look at what is a habit, and it is an action that's triggered in response to contextual cues associated with the performance or a person's performance, right? So in other words, let's put it in a simple form. It's programming. It's programming. That's basically what it is, right? So let's take, something that we want to do. Everybody, first, a whole lot of folks say, oh, girl, I got to get in shape. Man, bro, I got to get rid of these man boobs. I got to get rid of these titties. I can't be having no moves. You know what I'm saying? Everybody going to have that as a goal. Ooh, I got to eat better. I got to get right. I need to be on time. Ooh, I need to do better at my job. I need to do better in school. So if that's the goal as a New Year's resolution, if that's the goal as something to start off the next, Gregorian year, as this thing, that I'm trying to improve, then why not take the previous time from the previous year and develop that? Start practicing, start working on it. Start small, take a little bit at a time, and then build yourself up to where once you do hit the new year, once we do get into January, once we do get into 2021, now we're what? Now you're pretty much hitting the ground and running. You might not be moving at a fast pace, but you're actually a whole lot better, and you're 1% better. You've improved and increased your value and who you are by doing that, right? So now, if it takes 254 days for a person to really create a new habit, but it's an average of 66 days to train a behavior to become automatic, why don't we start now instead of waiting until New Year's comes? Because if it takes 254 days for a new habit to be created, then 254 days, if a year is 365 days long, it took you damn near almost all year to finally get your shit together. I mean, it's just something to think about. But it takes 66 days for a new behavior to be trained to become automatic, right? What's something automatic? It's just like we get in the car. We've been programmed, to get in the car. Before anything else, we jump on the seatbelt, right? We put on the seatbelt. Sometimes, it's it's the way we've programmed ourselves, and we might start up the car, put it in gear, and while it's rolling, we put on the seatbelt. But that's still an automatic behavior, and that's still a habit, and that's still something that you consistently do. So let's look at everything else that we do, right? If it takes 66 days for a behavior to be trained to become, right, an automatic response, and I know it sounds fucked up, but let's look at Pavlov's experiment. Let's look at Pavlov's dogs, right? What did he do? He was recording, by taking saliva drippings out of the sides of their mouths, to test to see how they would react when a bell would ring, right? So out of Pavlov's experiment comes a lot of different things in psychology and sociology, right? And understanding how the mind works, and understanding how we respond to certain stimuli, right? So what is a habit? A habit is a behavior, right? It's something that's triggered by contextual cues, right? So in Pavlov's experiment, what was the cue? The dogs would hear a bell, all of a sudden they were hungry, right? Because he used food as an experiment, and he would feed them when the bell came, or would give them a special treat, right? After withholding, from a treat or anything like that. So we look at a lot of stuff that we do. Social media is starting to become our Pavlov's experiment. Social media and a lot of things that we do with music and the entertainment industry is very much our Pavlov experiment. It's very much our programming, right? Watching television programs is becoming very much of our programming, right? An alarm clock, that's one of those things, right? We hear the alarm, we get up, bing, we own this, we own that, we stay on the schedule, right? We become, more, robotic and android-like than actual human and living organisms, right? Which is nothing wrong with that if that's what you need for your life to be, right? But out of these things, these habits, right? Habits can and either or. Habits can be either or. They can be efficient, or they can be non-efficient, right? So if a habit can be efficient, then we need to train ourselves, take the 66 days to train a behavior to become automatic. And when that behavior is automatic, guess what it becomes? It starts to become a habit. So if we're poor with our finances, if we're poor with our credit, if we're poor in our relationships, if we're poor with our communication, if we're poor in performance with anything in our lives, then obviously those habits aren't efficient. So how do we change it? Right? And it's easier said than done. It's definitely easier said than done. But hashtag DBWT, don't be wasted talent. We could definitely do it. We can reprogram ourselves to be and do and act and behave how we deem to be efficient for ourselves, for those in our families, in our lives, those that are affected by our decisions and our actions, as well as affected by our transgressions, right? We can shift it around. We can create a paradigm shift so powerful in our lives that we can actually affect major portions and major areas of our society, especially in our communities, the communities that we live in, and also the communities that we're associated and affiliated with. No matter what you claim, no matter what you profess, no matter what you know what I'm saying, no matter what set you know what I'm saying, you rep it. Contextual cues. So if you give yourself contextual cues over a period of 66 days, you train a behavior to become automatic. We can start being on time when 2021 kids, or soon into 2021, right? Because we got like 38, 37 days before the new Gregorian year hits, right? So if we take this time now, start practicing now, start working on it now, not waiting until the first of the year or the first of the month to start doing shit to get ourselves right. If we start now, before the new year hits, by the time the new year hits, we've got a good understanding of who we are. We've got a good understanding of what we are. We got a better understanding of how we can perform. We even have a greater understanding of areas that need more improvement, right? We've got a better focus, right? We actually feel better about ourselves because we're accomplishing something. And then it's a lot easier once the new year hits, because like I said, now when it comes, you're hitting the ground running a little bit faster. Feet is on the move. We're a whole lot active. We're a lot more conscious of things, meaning a lot more aware. We're a lot more in tune, right? We've discovered and understood our better purpose, or we have a greater understanding of our divine purpose, because we chose to not be wasted talent, because we chose to take 66 days and get on that to train a new behavior. And when that new behavior becomes automatic, that automatic, response begins to develop into a habit. And so then 254 days later, guess what we got? We got a whole new habit. We got a whole new habit. But not just a new habit. What about breaking the old habits? What about breaking the inefficiencies in our lives? We all have some inefficiencies. We have some non-efficient habits that we do. Whether it's something to deal with food, something to deal with our sex, something to deal with our thinking, our critical thinking, our executive processing skills, executive decision-making skills, right? Our logic, right? We have some inefficiencies. Our study habits, or lack thereof, our reading comprehension, things like that. Hygiene is even, I'm saying? Things like everything that is habitual. We've got to look at what are the bad habits. We got to look at what are the things that are preventing us from being the ultimate successful persons that we're definitely designed to be. What's keeping us back from our destiny? Right? So why wait until the first of the year? Why wait until January 1st to start something new when you can start now, and you know the science now, you know the numbers, and I am one of those people that believes numbers don't lie. People lie, but numbers don't lie. So taking this time before the new year, 2021, I want to be this. Okay, start now. Start now. Boy, they lined up. It is hundreds of cars over here to get this corona test. Man, don't even get me started, because we didn't have SARS, we didn't have Ebola, E. coli, all kinds of stuff. Tuberculosis is still floating around, and we wasn't masked up and going crazy and doing all this lockdown, shutdown shit for that. But yet all of a sudden, COVID, which has been around for a while, read the back of the can of your Lysol can that you bought probably last year or 2 years ago, you're going to see coronavirus. But anyway, we're not going to get into that, because this hashtag DBWT, don't be wasting talent. This is Uncle Pops with the raw truth for the youth. This ain't my political platform or my pettiness platform. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make that correction. But anyway, yes, Kiki, it is pretty deep when you think about that. When you really think about it, it is pretty deep. So we got 66 days to train a behavior to become automatic. But at the same time, let's take that same 66 days, right? The 38 that's left, and then, the remaining time that we're going into 2021. Come by March, man, by March, we should be dope, right? By March, you know what I'm saying? Which, it technically speaking and scientifically speaking, the springtime is really the new year. And when you look at ancient civilizations and indigenous cultures, right, around the world, spring is actually the new year, because what mostly takes place in spring, it's the renewal of life, right? You got all kinds of animals that have, that birth their children, during the spring. You got the dead of winter, leaving, and everything is melting. And what happens? Spring is here. You got flowers sprouting, you got trees blossoming and blossoms, getting ready to turn into fruit and all that, but that's another educational piece for another platform. But anyway, back to the habits. And I'm gonna close out real quick because I don't want to oppress anybody's time. And I know, y'all, few of y'all that got on the live, I truly appreciate it. Glad that y'all took the time out to listen to my yammering. But if it takes 66 days to truly train a behavior to become automatic, let's not wait until January 1st. Let's not wait until 2021. Let's get on it now. Let's really take the time to analyze what we do throughout our day. Let's really take the time to analyze what we do throughout the week and the month, right? Let's really be critical of ourselves, right? I get a lot of people when I talk about, business and mentoring and making accomplishments in their lives, and it's always the same bullshit that people say. I ain't got time. Bro, I miss you too, man. Man, big time. But I ain't going nowhere. I'm coach forever. Man, but the thing is, it's always the same bullshit that comes out of everybody's mouth. I ain't got time. I was talking with a young lady the other day, and we were discussing some business. She's, like a mentee, and I one of the things, I'm heavy on reading, right? Because leaders read, and highly successful people, they read. You can't learn anything if you don't read, or if you don't take the time to study something. You can't understand anything if you don't take that time to study and understand and read, right? So just as a close out, if the young lady, she did a live and she was talking about business but had some complaints and things about that nature, and I just pointed out, we talked about the books that she was supposed to be reading, and I say, well, how long did this live take? She said it took 44 minutes. I said, well, in that 44 minutes, that's 44 minutes of reading time. Boom, there it is. Can't call a problem if you have a solution. Shit don't make sense to call it a problem if you got a solution, especially if it's easy. The reason why shit becomes hard is because we really don't want to. It's because we really want shit to be comfortable and easy. But anyway, I ain't gonna start lecturing and preaching. I'm gonna go ahead and close out. I'm gonna hit y'all up with another live at some point. Y'all take care. Stay up, stay blessed, stay strong. Keep your head on the swivel. Don't think like a 2-minute clock so you don't have to catch the fuck up. Uncle Pops with the raw truth for the youth. Definitely you grown folks. Peace.